I'm not Pressley by chance. I'm not Pressley by mistake. I am Pressley on purpose. Hey y'all, it's your girl Adyna K Pressley, and welcome to Pressley on Purpose. Listen, this is not the button up CEO version of me. This is the real me, the healed but still human me. Every week, we're going to get into purpose, reinvention, boundaries, healing, and choosing yourself loudly, boldly, and without apology. So get comfortable, get honest, and get ready because we're rising and we're rising on purpose. So, this is my second episode of Pressley on Purpose, and I have to be honest, I'm really enjoying it. Oh my goodness, I love this. I think I could do this. I think this is a thing. I think this is going to really be my thing. So, anywho, today's episode is going to be about setting boundaries. And that is something that I've been big with lately. And for those that know me, know that my word for 2026 is alignment. If anything that's going on in my life is not in alignment, then it's not for me. If anything in my life that's going to cause me any kind of trouble, is going to make me feel a certain type of way, is going to disturb my peace, it's a hard no for me. I've always been the type of person that, and this is when once I've grown up and became an adult, because when I was younger, I had no filter. There was no boundaries when it came to how I responded to things, because those that know me know I was feisty. I was feisty, but that's the environment that I grew up in. I grew up in the projects, and that mentality. I was feisty. I was a firecracker. I was off the chain. As my mother said, and her and I recently had a conversation about that. And she said to me, and I don't think she ever told me this, but she said to me last week when we had a conversation, she was like, "You were very hard to raise." And I had to sit there and I had to take it, and I had to agree, and I had to hold myself accountable. And I said to her, I said, "You know what, Ma, you're right. I can't even debate you on that. I really was very difficult growing up. But as I got older and I started really looking into myself and evaluating myself, that's when I realized the reason why I acted the way I did was because I felt that I needed to protect myself. I needed to protect who I was. I needed to protect people from trying to hurt my feelings. I never wanted to make anybody feel like anything that they said affected me or bothered me. When in reality, because I'm human deep down inside, depending on the person and who it was, yeah, it may have affected me. But if you were someone that I really didn't care about, and as far as I was concerned, you can kick rocks. Yeah, anything you said or did or said about me really didn't faze me. But I say that to say the reason why I was like that was because it was my form of protection. And I've come to realize that as I've gotten older. And a girlfriend of mine recently told me that too. She said, I always said to people, and again, this is when I was younger, and it took some time, even as I got older, to really recognize it. She was like, I understand her. And she said, and I understand the reason why she's so tough, or the reason why she may seem mean is because it was her way of protecting herself. And now I have a different way of protecting myself and protecting my boundaries, because I look at everything from a different perspective and from a different set of lens. Because one, I have grown, and growth teaches you how to navigate how you want to handle certain situations when it's presented to you. So nowadays, the way I lead my life, and if you know me, you know my phrase, my peace is paramount. My peace is paramount. It comes before everything. And the reason why I feel like that is because I've come too far to let anyone disturb it. I've been through so much in my life when it came to me knowing how I could react to certain situations, which wasn't usually in my best interest, because ultimately it could have really led me to not having the freedom that I have today. But again, I recognize that. And I recognize that there are ways, diplomatic ways, that you can handle certain situations that you may not necessarily be happy with. or you may not agree with. So that took a lot of growth. That took a lot of me looking into myself. And then also, too, it took a lot of reflection. And again, holding myself accountable for the way I responded and how I acted to certain situations. So yeah, I live that. I need to put that on a shirt. I think I might put that piece. My piece is paramount. I think I'm gonna put that on a shirt. But I live by that because I feel that and believe that wholeheartedly. One of the things that we tend to do as women, we tend to want to keep the peace, especially in relationships. And I've done this a lot because I got to a place, especially when I was younger and even when I was married, I was very confrontational. And being confrontational is not going to help the situation when you call yourself trying to resolve an issue. You can't resolve an issue when you're acting like a maniac. And there was times I acted like a maniac. Again, I hold myself accountable. And like I said in my first episode, what you see is what you get. So I'm giving you the real, raw, authentic Adyna. And at many times, I knew that I could be a beast. I knew that if I didn't like something, if I didn't agree with something, if I got angry at something, I would just turn into an animal. And I had to realize that's not the way to handle conflict when you may not agree with something. Now, granted, sometimes people put you in that place. And I didn't have the wherewithal back then to recognize that I was being poked or someone was really trying to get under my skin. I didn't recognize that. I automatically, because it was in my nature, just went into protection mode, went into fight mode, went into beast mode. That was the way I always handled things. And I had to really get to a place where I had to find peace within myself and healing within myself to recognize that that's not the way you're supposed to move. And then also, too, now you're a mom. You have to set an example for your children. And you want to set an example for your children that shows them how you really deal in one relationship, two conflict, and three just being a woman in itself. You want to carry yourself a certain way. So I really had to change the way I responded to things as I became a mom. And then, of course, it changed even further once I became a leader. Once I started to advance my career and I'm put in a position of leadership, and now you have other people looking to you, have other people looking up to you, and you're faced with the different challenges that's associated with being in corporate America. Now you have to know how to navigate that. So all of those different things really taught me how to manage conflict and how to manage my peace. Because again, that is something that is a non negotiable for me. And one of the things that I've also come to learn is how to be still with myself, be in my quiet space, enjoy yourself. You don't have to be on every set. You ain't got to dance on every set. You don't got to be at every function. You learn how to be happy and content and in good company with yourself. And once I started doing that, that's when things really changed for me because there's no better friend to have than be your own friend. You are your bestest friend ever, aside from God. But once I got to that place, that's when I really realized, okay, now I know what it takes to set boundaries and to make sure that I keep people at a certain distance to maintain my sanity and to maintain where I'm at in my journey. So that was huge for me. And I tell people all the time another thing that can disturb your peace is always trying to conform to others, or always trying to be there for somebody, or saying yes to everything and everybody. And I wrote this in my book. No is a full and complete sentence. And that's one sentence I use often. I say no. Can I borrow? No. Do you have? No. Can we go? No. No is a full and complete sentence that I use all the time because it protects my sanity. It keeps me in a place of calm. It keeps me in a place of my peace. So when I say set boundaries and stand firm in those boundaries. Stand 10 toes down in whatever you feel is shifting how your mood is. Don't let anything or anybody shift your mood or your spirit, because they will do it. And the crazy thing is, there's certain people in your life that you know they can really get under your skin. Like, they have the ability, and they notice and they will do this to you on purpose. Oh, there's somebody in my life, I love this person, but even though we are in different places in our lives, and this is somebody I was in a relationship with, we're in different places in our lives, whatever, we've gone on, we're still cool. But one thing about that person is, they can say something that will put me back in the place that I was in when we were together, that would make me want to turn into a straight Tasmanian devil, because that old feeling comes back in you, when you feel that irk in your nerves, in your spirit, in your bones. And now it's a beautiful thing, because you could just say, or I could just say, because this is what I normally do, okay, I had enough talking to you, goodbye, and hang up. That's simple. Before, I used to have to duke it out. I had to fight that out. I was being antagonized, and I had to defend myself from that behavior. But now I have all the freedom. I have all the freedoms to say, you know what? It's been real. One, you know? So when I say that, I say that you have to stand firm in and stay in position when it comes to how you're going to let someone affect your mood. I don't let anyone toy with my emotions. That was another thing that I fell victim to, especially in a relationship. People are so quick to tell you how much they love you or they want to be with you, but their actions says the total opposite. And you want to justify it. You want to believe that they're going to change, and you give them time. You give them chances time and time and time again. And I said, and I talked about a post about being dumb, and I was that dumb one, because I would constantly give chances over and over and over again. And once I got to the place where I stopped doing that, that's when the real peace comes in, because now it's all about you. You're not listening to what nobody else has to say. They could say whatever they want to. They could juggle in front of you. They could tap dance, because a lot of them are performers. So they'll start singing for you. They'll start crying for you. They'll get on a tricycle for you. And I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say. If your actions is not matching it, guess what? You are not for me. And once I got to that place, woo, that's when the real peace came in. Because let me tell you something. One person that can disturb your peace, shake your peace down to your core, is them men, somebody's son, them raggedy ass fellas. Ooh, and I said I wasn't gonna cuss, but I was feeling this one. Them ones who are still at this big age playing games with women's hearts, women's feelings, and not growing up and committing and being consistent. Consistency was always another thing with me. I felt, if you couldn't be consistent, if you can't even give me a call back when you say you're going to call me back, be bothered, because again, it doesn't take that much to do that. I don't ask for much in my relationships. So when I do say something, if I do bring something up, if I do mention something, you might want to take heed to it, because I'm just not that person. And my friends used to laugh at me all the time, especially when I was going through my dating phase, after years of being in a relationship. I don't call nobody. I don't. And it's nothing personal, but I just don't, because I feel that it's not a woman's job to chase after a man. It's a man's job to pursue a woman. So yeah, I might check on you every now and again and see how you do and make sure you're breathing. But as far as me calling and saying what you're doing, where you at, who you with, and all that jazz, that's not me, and you're never going to get that from me. That's just not who I am. I treat relationships in a way like adults should treat it. I do respect, because I want somebody to respect that for me is my space, my me time, my quiet time. And those who really know me know I take my days and I go to the spa. Everybody knows every month I go to see my massage therapist, Gilberto. Me and Gilberto been together for years. That's what is not a compromise for me. Because another thing that I say is my self-care and self-love is not an option. It's not an option. It's my oxygen. It's how I breathe. It's how I can live. It's how I can go on about my day. It's how I can elevate. It's how I can rise. I need that sense of peace and me time for me to reset, renew, and restore myself. So yeah, I set boundaries when it comes to my time. So I'm okay with being with someone and giving them their space as well, because everybody's entitled to it. We're grown. We're grown. And if you can't be in a relationship and be in a real relationship where you can trust that person, then maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship. But I say that to say that everything centered around my peace when it comes to love, relationships, family, friends, even my children, because they get up under my skin too. And I love my girls. I love my girls beyond words, but they can hurt my nerves too. And I have to set boundaries with them as well. And I'm gonna say this from a mother's perspective. It hurts sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes it hurts. It hurts when I have to say no to them. But again, those are the things that made them into the women that they are today. There were times when I wanted to run to the rescue, because us being mothers, that's our nature. We're lionesses. We protect ours. But then there are times that we do have to step back and we have to let them learn on their own, because we're not serving them. We're not helping them. We're not teaching them when we jump in and we want to come to the rescue. I really have not been in such a wonderful space in a long time. I'm so grateful because um, I really have been recognizing what it is that makes me be in this space, what it is that makes me happy. I get up in the morning and for a whole hour, I don't even turn on the TV. I don't pick up my phone. I sit in complete silence. Sometimes I meditate. Sometimes I pray. Sometimes I do absolutely nothing. But that's just my quiet time for me to get myself ready for my day. It allows me to position myself on how I want my day to go. And if you really know me, you also know that one thing I say to myself, and I say this every single day, is I choose happy. I choose happy. I don't let anybody else define my happiness. I don't need it in money. I don't need it in a man. I don't need it in the car that I drive. I need it from within myself. So every single day when I get up, I say to myself, I choose happy. And like I said, don't get me wrong. There are people that's going to try to shake my happiness, going to try to aggravate my nerves, going to try to shift my spirit. But I'm aware, I am so self-aware that I know when I'm being pulled into that direction, and I know how to reel myself back in. And that's a skill, that is a gift, and I'm so glad that I recognize that I have it. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not in everybody. It's something that's got to be practiced, because that's something that you got to wholeheartedly believe in yourself, and that's how you're going to move going forward. And that's really how I am. I really say to myself, I choose happy. So when it comes to my boundaries and my self-care, my self-awareness and my self-love, I am so in tune with that. And again, that's the reason why I feel like I'm in such a great place to be able to even speak about it. And I'm hoping that someone that's watching this is encouraged to want to get to that place, because again, it is such a wonderful place to be. It is such a wonderful place to be. And I would love for you to get there. It takes baby steps to get there. And just be aware of your feelings, of your environment, of what is making you feel out of place or making you feel unaligned. And when you feel that, make a conscious decision to shift that feeling. I guarantee you, it takes time, but I guarantee you, once you know how to do that, you will live such a fulfilling and peaceful life because you're not letting anything or anyone disturb your peace. So make sure that you make your peace paramount. Okay. So that's today's episode of Pressley on Purpose. I hope something resonated with you. I hope there was something that caught your attention, maybe snatched your edges, did something. I hope that if you like something, that you let me know. I ask that if you get the opportunity to share this with somebody else, because I think this is going to be a thing. This is your sister girl, your home girl, your auntie, your mama, your friend, your good girlfriend, your good girlfriend here to support you and to show you some real love when it comes to everyday life and your everyday well-being. So with that being said, have a good night. I love you all. Please make sure you subscribe. And again, share this with someone who you think may need it. One.